1-800-Flowers. Go there now. 24 roses and a vase, $29.99. 1-800-Flowers. The code is heard. All right. Game one is Sunday, Celtics and the Cavs. It's an advantage for LeBron because he'll have his longest break of the season. Young teams generally like to keep the rhythm up and keep playing. Old teams need rest. This is the longest rest of the season for LeBron, so this is very good news for him. I like Cleveland to win the series in 6 games because they have more veterans. What I think, though, is going to happen, let me lay out the next month for you, and I think it's going to be incredibly predictable. And everybody's going to go up and down and a roller coaster, and nobody's going to contextualize it, and we're going to freak out. I think it's the most predictable finish over the last month in LeBron's career. So today is May 10th. Let me go until June 10th. This is what's going to happen. So today's May 10th. For the next 3 days, he's going to hydrate and do hyperbaric chamber stuff. And then he's going to get rested, okay? And then May 13th is Sunday, and he's going to face the Cavs. And the series is going to go 6 games. Brad Stevens is too good. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have become too important and too talented to get swept. LeBron and the Cavs will have one awful shooting night guaranteed. They'll lose that game. Brad Stevens will probably steal a game late situationally. Count on it. But in the end, LeBron will be unstoppable. And Kevin Love, who when he plays well, this is a really good basketball team, and I suspect he will. They will win the series on May 25th. The game will be in Cleveland. LeBron will be absurd. He'll have the best game in the series. It will be his 8th straight final, and everybody will be saying, oh, my God, he maybe is better than Michael Jordan. Then LeBron on May 31st will face Golden State, who will breeze through Houston. And this is going to be really ugly and really quick. This is going to be like Mike Tyson's fights against Spinks in his 20s. This is going to be a sweep. And in most games, it's going to be awful. And it will end on June 7th. But, Colin, you said May 10th till June 10th. Yes, because from June 7th to June 10th, let me make a prediction after LeBron gets swept. America for 3 days will talk about 2 things. Hey, he's never going to be as good as Michael Jordan. That'll be the first topic. And the second one will be Kevin Durant's actually better than LeBron, which, of course, is absolutely absurd. The Warriors regularly win games and series without Kevin Durant. Cleveland can't win a game if LeBron doesn't play. So that's what's going to happen for the next month. Then I cannot predict what's going to happen June 11th to July 7th, because that's when free agency takes place. And that's where it gets Decision 3.0 really tricky. I do have a theory how the Golden State-Houston series will affect where LeBron goes. But I think it's May 10th, and to June 10th, it is really predictable. Rest, Boston series, 6 games, couple days to talk how great LeBron is, swept by Golden State, 3 days to acknowledge he's not as good as Durant. Roll your eyes. He'll never be MJ. Heard it before. That I can guarantee. After that, it gets really interesting. I don't know where he's going to land. But I got a theory coming up. Veteran newsman John Goulet.
No.
Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
So the 76ers put up a pretty good fight last night, and they probably earned a lot of people's respect after coming back, winning Game 4. Were right there last night in Game 5 and had 3 close losses in the series. After the game, Joel Embiid had a very interesting comparison talking about himself and Ben Simmons moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Me and Ben, we have a lot of room to grow, and I was thinking about it, just looking at KD and Westbrook, what they did the first season together. I think they only won like 28 games or something like that. And I mean, looking at what we did, we got a bright future. Like at the end of the game, he came up to me, was like, there's gonna be, show me his hands, and he was like, there's gonna be a lot of rings on this. And then I was like, for sure.
I feel like Embiid might be a little confused because Durant-Westbrook combo 0 rings, unless he means that in a few years he's going to leave Ben Simmons and go join the Warriors.
Listen, they have 2 star players. They went toe-to-toe against the best coach in this league and accounted for themselves very well, simply lost because their rookie point guard. Remember, Markelle Fultz was the number 1 pick. Apparently a bust, didn't play. They had to overcome Markelle Fultz apparently being a bust. Ben Simmons facing the best defensive head coach in the league, if not the best head coach. And the reality is, J.J. Redick didn't have a great series. Covington vomited all over the floor for 10 days. So Philadelphia is in great shape. Dario Saric was great last night, but you can't depend on him to give you that kind of night 3 times in the series. So they're baby steps, man. Philadelphia is in a good spot.
They're ahead of schedule, for sure.
Absolutely ahead of schedule.
Sticking with the Sixers, their head coach Brett Brown talked about the team's season after the game and how they exceeded expectations and the budding rivalry they now have with the Celtics in the East. Here's what he said.
If we all sat in that room when we met on September, whatever it was, and said we're going to finish 3rd in the Eastern Conference, we're going to lose in the semifinals of the Eastern Conference, there's a strong chance we all would have been hugging each other. Final piece is, if we're going to do anything of any significance, we're always going to have to go through the Boston Celtics. I respect very much this organization. I think Danny and Brad are fantastic. You know, you're always looking over your shoulder and watching how they've decided to grow their program. And this was a hard-fought series.
Are you excited for the rivalry these two are seemingly going to have for the next 5 to 6 years?
No, I think it's great. I think if LeBron stays in the East, that'll give you 3 really good teams. Although I don't think he is going to be able to attract another great player. And I think if LeBron goes west, it is a 2-dog race for the next decade.
I mean, there's a scenario in which you're taking this playoff series from this year, and next year you could possibly be adding Gordon Hayward, Kyrie Irving, and Paul George, all to what we already just saw, which would just be incredible.
The West is going to be dominated by Golden State for the immediate future. But I don't know about long term. Depends on where LeBron goes. I can assure you, if LeBron leaves the East, this is the safest bet in sports. It's like the SEC. Bama and Georgia, for the next, as long as Nick stays there, are going to dominate the SEC. They both got great players, great recruiting, great talent. Philly and Boston are going to dominate the East for a decade. I think Boston primarily has the upper hand right now with Stevens and the personnel, but it takes one long, great shooting wing like Paul George to change all of that.
And finally, we talked yesterday about Matt Ryan becoming the highest-paid quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Cowboys COO Stephen Jones was asked about how that would affect the Cowboys' approach with Dak Prescott, even though he has 2 years remaining on his rookie contract. Here's what Stephen Jones said.
You know, I know Dak's going to have a great year this year, and, you know, I hope it's up there. You know, it's going to be as he deserves. He was a 4th-round pick. No one deserves to get paid fairly more than he does. And we all see what some of the other guys are who aren't Aaron Rodgers, who aren't Matt Ryan. He's going to do well, and we certainly know that's going to happen, and we've got that planned in our budgeting for the salary cap. And I just want Dak to go out and be MVP this year of the NFL. That's what I want.
Just low expectations there. Do you think Dak is going to be the next one to get a big deal like that? Or do you think they lock him up maybe earlier before he's worth that much?
Yeah, I mean, right now, what would I be willing to pay Dak? You know, again, you get trapped. You got to pay him. You know, I mean, if Dak said, I'm sitting out unless you pay me, you'd be stuck paying him $22 million a year. Do I think right now he's worth it? Actually, you can make an argument, 22 wins in 2 years. Again, I always say this. A, there's a scarcity of quarterbacks out there in the world, and B, you tell me, 22 wins in 2 years. He appears to be getting better. Just the value of the position, I wouldn't want to pay him 30, but these quarterbacks have a lot of leverage now. The game with no huddles is all about your ability to quickly, cognitively get plays in, disseminate the information. Once a guy puts a few years in and gets it down, it's really hard to replace. Not a lot of good ones hit the open market, so when you get one, you better pay him. Veteran newsman John Goulet.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
Former New York Times sports writer, our NBA guru, Chris Broussard, joining the show after what I thought was an intense, fantastic series, Philadelphia and Boston. Very